What's up, Pops? How you guys doing? I'm doing great, thanks for asking. Today is a storytime video. It is a truthful storytime video. I know you guys are aware that my track record with storytimes has not been that truthful. Obviously, they were satire and parody. I have put up a storytime already, though, that was truthful. But I wanted to preface that because I know you guys are aware that in the past, they have been parodies, so. Today's story time is 110% the truth. I'm just gonna basically be going through my near-death experience, and yeah. So, when I was in my senior year of high school, I had a group of friends who were constantly around each other, and we always hung out on weekends. And one of my friends had the ability to drive, so she was the one that constantly drove us everywhere we went. I can't remember if it was a Friday night after school or a Saturday night. I think it was a Friday night after school. But we made plans to go ice skating at the local ice skating rink. So she picked us all up, and we were in a van, like a mom van. She was driving her mom's mom van, actually. And there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us in the car. So it was a full van. Like, we weren't doing anything illegal. There were 7 of us in each seat. We had just recently left my house, so we weren't even on the road for that long. I remember that one song was on the radio, or I don't know, iPod or something. It was that Tonto, jump on it, like that song. So I can never listen to that song again, by the way. It brings back too many weird memories. But anyway, we were driving down this long stretch of road, and I was not really paying attention. I think I was on my phone playing Snake or something, because at the time I had like a Nokia flip phone, and I didn't have texting in high school. My parents gave me a phone because I was really active in like drama and sports, cross country, so I didn't have texting abilities, but I was on my phone, I remember. And I'm not quite sure what happened because I wasn't looking up and paying a lot of attention. And later I had the explanation given to me by the driver of the car. But the next thing I know, we swerved slightly to the right, and then the driver overcorrected, and we were just spinning and spinning and spinning, and I'm pretty sure we flipped, and we slammed into a palm tree that was in the median. So this was a 3-lane road on either side, and there was a median with like trees going down it, and I think we were in the middle lane. And so when we started skidding in circles and then flipped into the tree, there were no other cars around us. We did not hit another car did not cause this. It was just overcorrection, and later I found out that it had something to do with the driver looking at her phone and not paying attention. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. What I was going to talk about in this story time is that feeling that occurs when you suddenly think, okay, this is it. Like, this is when I die. So when I look up and I realize what's happening, the car is spinning, it was so weird. Like, I think about it and it feels like it was so slow in my mind. Like, it was happening in slow motion, even though I know it wasn't. I remember dropping my phone, like just letting go of my phone and grabbing the driver's seat, because I was sitting directly behind the driver. So the way that it was set up was there was the driver, one of our friends in the other front seat, and then me and another one of my friends, and then 3 people in the back bench seating. So I was right behind the driver. So I remember grabbing the driver's seat like this, not like the top of it, but like the seat part. I just remember grabbing the driver's seat and closing my eyes, and the car was spinning, and the only thought that was going through my mind was, oh, this is how I die. That was all. That was the only thing going through my mind. Oh, I'm dead. I'm dying. I'm dead. This is it. I know that a lot of people talk about like near-death experiences and how they see their life flashing before their eyes. There was none of that for me, like, at all. It was literally just my eyes clenched shut. I accepted that I was about to die, and then I remember like the impact. I remember hitting the tree and feeling the heat from, because the tree actually hit on my window, so like on the van pull door window, that's where we actually made impact with the tree. And so I just felt the window blow out in my face. So it was just a lot of heat, and I felt the glass, but I didn't actually feel it like cutting me. I just felt the glass hitting me, and then that was it. It was almost like impact. I opened my eyes. I was doubled over. I remember like the seat that I was sitting in basically if this is the seat and I'm sitting here, the seat did this. So I was squashed like in between the seat like this. And I remember trying to like sit up and push the seat off of me, and finally I just like pushed really hard. I got the seat off of me, and the next thing I knew, it was just overwhelming pain. And so I immediately started screaming. So I guess this is just turning into a story time of what happened, but I remember I was just overcome with pain. I started screaming. I looked over. My door where the tree hit, it was like crushed. When we impacted the tree, the door had been pushed in, and I looked down and I noticed that the door has literally squished my leg against the seat that I was sitting in. So like it was like the metal was pressed up against my leg really hard. And I look over to my right and I see that there's a woman that I don't know who's like, let me help you out, let me help you out, let me help you out. The two of my friends in the back were out. The guy that was sitting in the middle is laying there and he's like crying in pain. The person to my right was out. The driver and the passenger in the front were out. And this woman's just telling me, you need to get out of the car, you need to get out of the car. And I'm not recognizing what she's saying to me because I was just yelling in pain. But she was saying, the car is on fire, you need to get out. And so finally, I realize what she's saying. I see the flames coming out of the front of the car. So I started to try to get out, realized that my leg was stuck against the metal, the door that had folded in. And as I get my leg free, I see that like my purse was like right next to my leg. So I grab my purse for some reason and get out of the car, and I immediately try to stand up straight. I can't stand up straight. So I'm doubled over. I lay down in the grass on the median. I notice that there's like a ton of like police and just like the car is on fire, and I'm laying in the grass, and I realize that I don't have my cell phone. Like I'm just like, because I immediately wanted to call my parents. I don't have my cell phone. I'm freaking out. I'm looking at my purse while I'm in pain and crying. And the same woman that helped me get out of the car comes over and she's like pouring water on a paper towel and handing it to me, and I'm like, what is this for? And she's like, you're bleeding. And so I realize that now I'm like covered in cuts everywhere from the glass exploding in my face. I have cuts all over my arms, my chest, my face. I had glass in my hair. Like when I like went like this, there was just glass falling out of my hair. And so finally I let the woman know I don't have my phone is gone. And she gives me her cell phone to call my parents. I leave a voicemail because they didn't answer because they were having a party of all nights at my house. I'm assuming that they heard the voicemail and immediately called the woman back, because the next thing I knew, my parents were there, because like I said, this happened like down the street from my house. So then an ambulance came, put me in the ambulance. I remember I was put in the ambulance with the driver of the car, who kept saying over and over, is she going to die? Like talking about me. And I was like, you're gonna say that right in front of me? Like I'm already freaking out. I don't know what's wrong with me. So we get to the hospital. They do all these tests. They gave me an iodine injection because they had to see if I was bleeding internally. That was also painful because I don't know if you guys have had an iodine injection before, but it literally makes your eyelids burn, your lips, like your fingers, everything feels like it's burning from the inside. So it turned out that I was bleeding internally from my kidneys. I didn't have any broken bones. All of my cuts and abrasions were superficial. The only thing that was worrisome to them was that I was peeing blood, and I was not allowed to leave until I was no longer peeing blood. Two of the people in the car got by unscathed. The guy that was in the back seat still crying had broken his leg in 3 places. And I think he actually got screws put in. I think the driver had to get stitches from a laceration. She broke her wrist. Another one of my friends broke her ribs. So like, we were lucky because none of us in that car, for having flipped and spun into a tree, none of us died. There were 7 of us in the car. I saw photos of the van after the fact, and they said that none of us should have been alive. So it was crazy. It was really, really crazy. Like, I was terrified to drive. I didn't drive for like a year after that. Because I was so afraid. It was really horrific. But yeah, the whole point of this video that I wanted to make was talking about how I didn't have that like near-death experience, like sudden realization, life flashing before my eyes. It was literally just dark. And that was it. Like, it was just like, I'm dead. And I thought I was. Like, I really thought I was dead. Like, I was just like, I'm dead. I don't know if you guys remember when I said, but when we made impact, it was almost like it was like impact, eyes were open. I found out that I passed out and I didn't know. It was literally just like, we made impact, the door closed in on me, the seat came down, and I passed out. And apparently I was out for like anywhere between 5 to 7 minutes, like just passed out in that car. And I thought about it after the fact and I realized, yeah, like I was passed out. They told me later, like the paramedics and stuff and like my friends, like I was they thought I was dead in the car because I just wasn't moving. Like I was just in the car. And then for me, it was like I had no knowledge of me being passed out. It was just me making impact, and then I immediately thought that it was impact and I'm awake. It wasn't. It was impact, I'm out for 7 minutes, and then I wake up, but it all felt like one fluid motion. So it wasn't even like I was experiencing anything while I was passed out. It was just like, I don't know, like it's so hard to explain. And then crazier at the time, one of my friend's dads growing up was a police officer for the city that we were in, and he was shutting down the road on the other side because there were parts of the car that had made it to the other side of the road over the median, so they shut down traffic on both ways. He was actually working on shutting down traffic that direction, and he heard a phone ringing, and it was my phone that had flown from the car on impact clear across the other side of the street. And he picked up the phone and answered it because he figured, you know, I'm gonna have to let them know, like this is probably a parent or a friend calling and I have to let them know. He answered it and it was I think it was either my mom or my dad calling, and he was like, wait, this is Kayleigh's phone, and they're like, wait, is this officer blah blah blah, because I don't want to give his name, and they were like, yeah, so he found my phone, which is even crazier, and it still worked after, like, I think I had it for like 6 months after. But yeah, like that was a crazy, crazy experience. I don't know. Have you guys ever had any near-death experiences? If you've experienced the whole life flashing before your eyes, I'm curious if you have. Leave me a comment, because for me it did not happen. I would have never known. Like I probably would have I could have died and never known. Do you know what I mean? It was a crazy thing. So definitely always drive safe. Do not text and drive. Like it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And every day I think about that. And I've been in a couple car accidents since that accident. Nothing remotely as crazy as that. But yeah, I'm very thankful to be around, because that could have been it. There could have been a story on the news that night saying 7 high school kids about to graduate and go to college died. And we all survived. Anyway, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If this is the first video that you're seeing of mine, hi, I'm Kayleigh. You should subscribe and hit that red button down below. We can become best friends forever. Make sure to ring my bell and turn on those notifications so the moment that I put up a video, you'll be notified. Links to my Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram are also down below. I'll see you guys in a few days with another video. Bye, everyone.